All right, and we are back here with our next today. Why don't you introduce yourself to the good folks out there?
Well, my name is Ashley Hammac, and I'm District 16. So that's up Brookston. Battleground is kind of the southern edge of it, and then it goes up from there north to around DeMotte, cuts off right around there, and includes Rensselaer, Monticello, et cetera, and some of those areas around in there.
Oh,
I'm
very
still
good.
getting familiar with the district, all of the little, municipalities and things myself. But yeah, it's been fun so far. And
I used to, as a IU student, I'm originally from Northwest Indiana myself, Michigan City. So I would make that trek down, 421, and then it turns into State Road 43 at one point, veers off down there, and well, boy, we spent many a summer weekend at Indiana Beach too, in Monticello. So I am fond of District 16.
good, yeah. I'm
So
enjoying it.
yeah, it lovely little farming communities up there. Is Monon in your area there?
Yeah, yeah.
I love trains.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still a little 4-year-old boy
Yeah.
who loves trains down there at heart. So tell me, Ashley, what was your inspiration for running for office generally, but for state house in particular?
Well, for Indiana District 16, my motivation there was that I felt like my representative Kendall Culp was not representing me. I call him and try to get him to do things for me. Didn't hear back from him, and then I'd have to call back to check on what has happened, and nothing ever happened, and there wasn't really any level of concern for letting me know why or what was going to be done to modify things so that something could get done. And so as the fallout happened over the last year with particularly the push for redistricting.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me get something straight here. If the people of Indiana voted and chose to redistrict the state in such a way, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But we were interfered with by outside forces, and that is not. It's not Republican. It's not conservative. It's not American. Local rule is a value that our country was founded on, and to have outside forces influence us like that, and then to see similar behavior that's now happening with HB 1333, which is dead now, but that was the intent of it, was to strip local rule. There are other bills out there that also diminish local rule, and so these things are not what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and I want to diverge from my little script a little bit, but just like, what do you make of folks in these rural districts keep sending Republicans back to the state house again and again and again, and yet you mentioned your representative not particularly responsive. I hear it again and again. That these guys aren't really serving their rural communities well. If you look at the decay of small town Indiana over the last decades that these guys have been in charge, it has only gotten worse. But we keep doing the same thing. Why do you think that is?
So my area of expertise is soil science. I work in agriculture a lot, and so from that perspective, what I can see is that big corporate ag has infiltrated and decided to go ahead and extract the wealth, exploit the resources, contaminate the resources, and leave us with the mess to clean up, while meanwhile exporting all the wealth to places like St. Louis, Minneapolis, Chicago, all these big cities.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're left with shells of communities that what used to be thriving and hustling, bustling communities are now barely, they're nearly shuttered.
Yeah, and monopoly, right?
Right.
You've got
you have
only a handful of seed companies. You only got a handful of equipment manufacturers.
exactly
And,
the buyers and the input suppliers on both sides have consolidated to such a degree that there are no more local, businesses that can do these things. And so I actually submitted a draft bill to my representative, Kendall Culp, as well as several other lawmakers that, I'm going to do my best to force their hand while not, I'm not in office obviously yet, but they're going to pay attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, so far the only excuse I've gotten is it's complicated. And, they even came back to me and said, well, it's too late to file anything. No, it's not. It's 4 pages. Get it in there. Get it incorporated. I don't care if it doesn't have my name on it. I don't care if it doesn't have the title just right. Get it in there. There's plenty of time to get 4 pages worked into a bill.
They certainly managed to slip in some language reducing voting hours at the last minute.
Yeah,
certainly. So
right.
They could slip in something that might actually benefit the people. I want to ask, Ashley, so, a lot of times we put our elected leaders on a pedestal. We sort of develop these cults of personality around folks. And, I like to find out, like, are you a real person? And I know everybody is, but like, what is something relatable that you have struggled with that would resonate with voters in your area?
Okay, I got a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm struggling right now. I have a hole in my roof with tarp over my roof. Okay, I'm trying to get my roof replaced with a metal roof, and I'm having a heck of a time finding someone to do the work for me, and I can't do it myself. So, right now I'm struggling, and I don't have just tons of money to just throw it at everybody to do the things I need to do. But that's one thing. I've been, I've struggled as an independent soil science consultant. And the reason why is because I don't mind telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that'll get you fired. I've taken the lumps. Okay. But I stand behind everything that I've ever done as a scientist. And I'm not going to steer the farmer wrong just because I'm trying to move some product. Every other consultant that you see around here, not every one of them, but the ones that are tied to big companies, there's always, a push to move more product, get you buying more of their chemical, more of their seed treatment, more of their fertilizer. And what do? They've got these, tactics that they use to put fear into people's heart to make you use more of that product. And so, things like, well, this is for insurance purposes, or, you don't want to leave any money on the table. So I call all that stuff out. I see it and I call it out, and it gets me in trouble with the power structures.
Yeah. Sounds like these guys, they value the sale more than the soil.
Right. Exactly.
So, that's serious business. We're talking about our soil in which we grow our food, which we need to survive. Let's lighten things up for a little bit. Have a fun one. So, if you were a fictional character, who would it be? Or if not that one, which fictional character would you like to be?
Let's see. I think if I was a fictional character, I would probably want to be, some like baseball star, like the guy that played in The Natural, Robert Redford played in The Natural. It's a baseball, all-star. You got the girl. Things went a little south, for a little bit, but you got redemption in the end, and it was also kind of in the good old days.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the best I got right now.
Were you a baseball guy?
I did enjoy playing baseball. I got out of it, before anybody could pick me up. But no, I never had that. That was never an option.
Yeah. So Well, that doesn't stop some people from 50 years or 60 years on talking about what great baseball players they were in their youth,
Yeah.
and it turns out they weren't so great.
Yeah.
Not mentioning anybody in particular. So let's say you win this race here in November, and you find yourself in the state house come January of 2027. What do you view the role of relationships with your colleagues in the state legislature, be it Democrats, or Republicans across the aisle? How do you view those relationships? What are the benefits of the interpersonal relationships? What kind of legislature are you going to be in the state house?
Well, I'm a pretty, easygoing fella, to people. Where I get crossways is with the policies that hurt people. But we can talk, friendly, and I will definitely, do what I can to sit down with people on both sides. I feel like actually I might be the person to draw that, to draw or to close the divide between the two parties, because I'm kind of that middle ground between both Republican and Democrat. I am a conservative type of person. I'm left leaning. That's my personal viewpoint. I also think that sometimes if you're representing a group of people, you check your personal views at the door. And if you have some particular skill that can help move things, then by all means bring that with you. But you have to consider everybody's, health and wealth that you're representing. And so I would absolutely try to do what I can to pass durable policy, not just, things that are happening that only get Republican support, and only get Democratic support. We have to really figure out ways of meeting people where they are. I'll do my best to do that. I think that, I'm not a long time, I wasn't born in Indiana. I say that I didn't choose Indiana. Indiana chose me.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, I choose to stay. I choose to make this the place that I raise my kids. And so having that outside perspective, I think, might be able to, help other people see. I come from the South. My great grandfather went and fought in the Civil War with his 3 brothers.
Oh, wow.
And on day 1 of the Battle of Stone Creek, my great grandfather watched 2 of his brothers get killed. So we are deep in our factions.
Yeah.
Just like James Madison predicted. And I think that, when in times like this, you can take this period here and almost draw a line to the 1850s and 60s, where in print media, people were also deep in factions. And so I think we can do things like compromise, meet people where they are now to avoid some of that conflict, because I don't think people really don't want that. People really don't want that. They may say and use heated rhetoric to kind of get their views heard, but when it comes down to it, we really don't want that. And we're, we have to do everything we can to turn it around now.
It's not funny. Funny is not the word I'm looking for, but you can see the parallels between now and just the way information's moving so fast, and the internet, social media, and stuff. And at that time, this is in the generation where like the telegraph was relatively new, and for that time, information was moving a lot faster than it had previously, and it allows ideas to spread. Not always the best ideas.
Right.
So,
but it's like an
Yeah.
a la carte. Like whatever idea you want to have, there it is. You can have it with the way things are now.
mhm, mhm.
And I think we kind of need to get back to Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, shared truth.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure. So let me ask you, we only got a couple minutes left here, Ashley. What legacy do you want to leave? Be it at the state house as a lawmaker, or just in your life in general. When the next generation is looking back, when your funeral, many years from now, what do you want folks to say about you?
Uh, I'm not really as much in it for the legacy as much as I am just to, you know, leave things better than the way I found it. I'd like to have my kids be better off than I was and than I am, and just continual progression. I don't want to see the fall of the republic on my watch, and yeah, if we can just maybe expand conservation. I think if we could get conservation a standard policy for crop production and other agricultural production
Yeah.
practices, I think that would be happy to die.
Well, very good. So, Ashley, if your message resonates with folks, especially up there in the 16th, where can folks go for more information, learn about your campaign? How can they get involved as a volunteer or help you financially?
Well, appreciate you asking me that. The best place to go is probably my website. You can find everything else, how to get in touch with me there. And my website is Ashley, ASHLEY, the number 4, Indiana House, the number 16.com. So Ashley for Indiana House 16.com. And then I have Facebook and TikTok social media. You can email me. My Act Blue donation page is there. And then I have a P.O. box where someone can send a check if they want to. I'm finding out that a lot of people are interested in an anonymous donation. And so I want to mention that an anonymous donation of less than, or a cash donation of less than $100 is anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get involved in any type of like dark money thing. So I'm just talking about
Small dollar
individuals,
yeah.
So if anyone wants to donate in cash that way, I can make myself available for that as well. But that's probably the best way. And thank you for asking.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for joining me here today, Ashley. It's good to meet you,
Yeah,
and
nice
we'll
meeting you
talk
too.
again.
All right.
All right. Thank you.